Alright boys, this is some serious game in this video. So with zero singing ability, but this really cool method that I found on YouTube from these two YouTubers, I was able to turn this dodgy singing into this loop here. So I'm going to be going through every single thing I did. I'm not going to gatekeep anything. It's going to be every single little detail so you can do it yourself. I was on a call yesterday and I was trying to make vocals, but everything was sounding bad. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try one more time. So I got this beat up here. And then I started to record some vocals over it. The reason why I like recording over beats is because it has more rhythm than a normal sample, and it allows me to think of more creative ways to hit the pocket. These were the first recordings that I did. I was recording here, no effects, nothing. And this is very important. You don't want to be using a whole lot of effect. And then for the second part, fuck, tough watch, bro. Alright, that's enough. I'm not gonna... Once these are recorded and they're not complete shit, I will then select one individually. So I'll go like this, and then I'll go Control-Alt-C to consolidate it. So now that it's consolidated, it's its own audio clip, which now allows me to go in and edit in pitch corrector. So for every single one, you want to edit it as much as possible that it sounds great. We don't want to rely on auto-tune. Auto-tune isn't going to save a bad take. The final tip for processing the raw vocals, you can add vibrato manually. So you can go to this setting here and advanced edit vibrato, and then you move this to the left. And you can see the wave influences how much vibrato it is. You don't want to do it too much because I fucked that up last time. That's a lot of vibrato, like that's way too much. And you also don't want to add vibrato to every note. You want to think, okay, what note do I actually want to hear the vibrato on? And normally it's the tail note. Normally it's the last note, which is when it sounds the best. Also, it's important to note, you're recording at a slower BPM and then you're going to speed it up later. So the vibrato, if it sounds cool in the slower BPM, it'll sound sick when you speed it up. So once I've gone into every single individual vocal, I have now consolidated it and I've got it looking like this. So it sounds like this. This is my favorite part. So once you've got your vocal into a file and it looks something like this and you're happy with how it sounds for the most part, you open up this website. It's kits.ai. So it's going to use AI to make you sound like a different person. So the person that I used was the female Southern Soul one. And the reason why I used that one was because I feel like every single person's going to be using the featured voices, and I wanted to use something that people haven't really used. So that's the one that I used. So Kits AI has now turned this vocal so it's complete night and day, but there's still a long way to go. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to speed the vocal up. So the way that I often do this is I'll just grab a random section and I'll go to this tool here and I'll just cut it in half. And then I will just extend it. Now it sounds like this. So you can already see we're getting the effect that we're looking for just by speeding it up. Now the last touch that I added was this preset here. Is this one phaser, a tiny bit of Valhalla room. I prefer using that to the reverb, EQ cutting out the lows, and then yeah. So that's literally it. So without the effects, and with it, so you can see it's just a really, really subtle difference. So now here's the project for where I made the sample. So these are all of the vocals. After I dragged the vocal from the previous project, there were still some notes that weren't getting hit and some notes that were fucked up. So for example, this one here, it's wrong, it was shit. So I had to go into new tone and I fixed it. This note was down here. Now, honestly, the hardest part of this loop was finding a chord progression. This took me the longest amount of time. This synth is from a Fraxel kit. It sounds like this. And I turn this red knob on and I don't know really what it does. It just makes it sound cooler. With the vocals, it's sounding like this. The next step was to add something that fills in the gap and fills in the space. Preset called Embrace. And it's sort of like some piano with delay on it, and I came up with this. Next, I added a bass, and I didn't want to do the same bass that I always do with these loops. It sounds like this. Then I've just got this to add a bit of rhythm. And then lastly, I've got this piano pattern, which is the same as that original synth, but it's just in a piano. And I'm using the noise box preset, and that sounds like this. Now finally, to end off the loop, I just wanted to add a few little elements that make up for the dead space. All of these phrases, the key phrases, synth phrases, even these vocal phrases are going to be put in a kit that I'm dropping very, very soon with Baragini. It's a crazy phrase kit. It covers a whole lot of genres, as you can see here. There's some absolutely crazy shit in here. So I really like using the key and synth phrases for these type of loops. So the first one that I've got here is this one. So that's just hitting on the one. Then I've got a synth phrase from the same kit. One more synth phrase at the end. All these phrases are in that kit, which is going to be dropping very soon. To finish off the loop, what I did was I made different sections for the vocals. In the first section, the vocals are completely normal. In the second section, I have added it to a different mixer track and I have EQ'd it a bit. So I've cut out the highs and I've cut out the lows, just because you don't want the vocal to be taking up too much of the space throughout the entire loop. So that sounds like this. And then for the third section, I have reversed the vocals, cut it up and chosen which ones sound the best. So that sounds like this. But yeah guys, that is the full video. The biggest takeaway from this, in my opinion, is using the Kits AI website to make it sound good. If you don't have a good singing voice, if you've got a bad singing ability, definitely Kits AI is going to save you. And also make sure you're not using auto-tune. And then also you want to speed the vocals up. But yeah, this is the final loop. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a comment and a like. I would appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video.